Good afternoon, Fremont Falcons, and welcome to a special episode of Miss Lee and Me. Now, per usual on Miss Lee and Me, I am reading a book to you, usually a book that I have enjoyed either myself or with my children, or perhaps when I was teaching in the classroom. Today, I found a new book. And if you are looking right behind me, you can see that there are some soldiers that are marching. These particular soldiers are marching in a parade. Now, for today's selection, I have chosen a book for Veterans Day. Yes, 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 I know Veterans Day has come and gone. But unfortunately, Miss Lee was unable to upload a video for you at that time. But I did not want to miss out on a special holiday that we celebrate. And I wanted you, first of all, to be aware of the holiday and what it means to so many people. So today, I am not only reading a book, but I have also chosen a special guest. Right after the book, you will hear someone on our campus who happens to be a veteran speak about their experience. So please sit back and enjoy, again, not only the selection on Veterans Day, but a very, very interesting interview on what it means to be in the U.S. military. I hope you enjoy it. American holidays. Veterans Day. November 11th is Veterans Day. In 1918, it was the day a peace agreement was signed to end World War I. Veterans Day is observed every year in the United States. On this day, Americans honor war veterans who served in all wars. Americans also honor those who served on military missions to maintain peace in warring countries. On Veterans Day, special events take place at war memorials across the United States. Veterans, soldiers, and citizens place flowers and flags on graves. Some people quietly pay their respects at private services. Veterans Day is a time to give thanks to all those who have served to protect America's freedom. At the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, there are 58,249 names of those who died and those who remain missing from the Vietnam War. The wall is located in Washington, D.C. "14 Points." On January 8, 1918, President Woodrow Wilson gave an important speech to Congress. He outlined his goals to end the war. These became known as the 14 Points. President Wilson wanted cooperation from all countries involved. To achieve peace between nations, he encouraged freedom to cross the seas and to return independence to occupied lands. President Wilson also wanted to limit the use of weapons and maintain the right of independent countries to govern their own people. President Wilson's 14 points became the basis of Germany's surrender in November 1918. They also formed the foundation of the League of Nations, the world's first international peace organization. A just and lasting peace. President Woodrow Wilson believed that if all the world's nations worked together, they could achieve world peace. It is that the world be made fit and safe to live in, and particularly that it be made safe for every peace-loving nation which, like our own, wishes to live its own life, determine its own institutions, be assured of justice and fair dealing by the other peoples of the world as against force and selfish aggression. All the people of the world are in effect partners in this interest. And for our own part, we see very clearly that unless justice be done to others, it will not be done to us. The program of the world's peace, therefore, is our program. President Woodrow Wilson. President Woodrow Wilson was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1919. War is over. After 4 years, World War I came to a close on November 11, 1918. The Armistice Treaty was signed to end the war. This was a peace agreement between Germany and the Allied powers. In the United States, many people lined the streets celebrating the victory. Americans danced and cheered as bells and whistles sounded. Businesses also closed for the day. Americans wanted to remember those who died in the war. Memorials were built in cities, towns, and villages. In 1919, President Woodrow Wilson named November 11th Armistice Day. The telegram sent to the front line of battled order troops to stop fighting at 5 a.m. on November 11th, 1918. The Armistice Treaty was signed at 5 a.m. on a railroad carriage in Rethondis, France. The war ended 6 hours later. 1 hour after the announcement of the war's end, there were street celebrations in many cities across the United States. Creating the holiday. From 1919 to 1954, November 11th was called Armistice Day. The United States Congress made Armistice Day a national holiday in 1938. Raymond Weeks, an American patriot, organized the first Armistice Day parade in 1947. It was held in Birmingham, Alabama. He wanted to honor all of Americans' veterans for their loyal service. President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the name of the holiday to Veterans Day in 1954. Now, every year on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, Americans remember their heroes of war and of peace. Dwight D. Eisenhower served as a supreme commander in World War II. War medals are symbols of patriotism, courage, and sacrifice. Veterans Day is a day to remember war heroes from all wars. It is also a day to honor the brave military personnel who defend the United States today. Veterans Day today. On Veterans Day, cities and towns all over the country have parades and ceremonies. An important national ceremony is at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington, Virginia. During the ceremony, the President of the United States lays a wreath on the tomb. He then steps back and salutes. A bugler plays taps. This song is a farewell to those who died in war. National Veterans Awareness Week is held 1 week before Veterans Day. Students learn about how veterans helped defend America's freedom. After the bugler plays taps, many veterans groups march in the parade of flags inside the Memorial Amphitheater. The Tomb of the Unknowns is located in Arlington National Cemetery. It has been the United States military cemetery since 1864. More than 300,000 people are buried there. Public ceremonies are held at the Memorial Amphitheater. The cemetery also has many monuments and memorials. These include the Nurses Memorial, the President John F. Kennedy gravesite, and the Space Shuttle Challenger Memorial. Arlington National Cemetery is a resting place for veterans from all the nation's wars. Americans remember. Veterans Day is celebrated all over the United States. Many Americans visit war memorials and cemeteries. Veterans are also invited to local schools to talk about their war experience. In San Francisco, California, there was a week-long Veterans Day celebration in 2000. Many people visited the Moving Wall. This is a traveling wall that contains engraved names of American soldiers who lost their lives in the Vietnam War. It is half the size of the War Memorial in Washington, D.C. The annual Veterans Day ceremony in Honolulu, Hawaii, is at the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. Many people also visit the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor. They remember the soldiers who defended America's freedom during World War I. Each year in Branson, Missouri, there is a week-long celebration called the Veterans Homecoming. It is known as America's largest Veterans Day celebration. Activities range from hot air balloon rides to formal ceremonies. Every year on Veterans Day, thousands of Americans visit the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington, Virginia. Since 1937, the 3rd United States Infantry guards the tomb 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Serving as a sentinel or tomb guard is considered one of the highest honors for soldiers. Holiday symbols. Special symbols of remembrance can be found in many parts of the United States. These symbols are meant to honor the country's wartime dead and living. They also help to remind Americans of the great sacrifices people made for their country's freedom. Memorials. One of the most important memorials is the United States Marine Corps Memorial. It is located in Washington, D.C. The statue shows the raising of the United States flag atop Suribachi in Japan during World War II. It is dedicated to the U.S. Marine Corps who have defended the United States since 1775. At the request of President John F. Kennedy in 1961, a cloth United States flag flies atop the 60-foot bronze flagpole. Tomb of the Unknowns. The tomb contains the remains of unknown American soldiers who died in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. These soldiers stand for every American who has died for their country. The tomb serves as America's promise to peace and freedom. More than 4 million Americans visit the tomb each year. Poppies. After World War I, an American named Moina Michael began selling paper poppies. The money she raised was used to support war veterans. The poppy became an official memorial flower in 1922. Americans wore poppies on their coats and hats to honor those who served the United States in war and in peace. If you are interested in any more information about Veterans Day, please do feel free to find these particular books. The title is called Veterans Day by Marlene Targ Brill, as well as World War I by Christine Hatt. There are also 2 websites that are available to you, one of which is www.va.gov/OPA, OPA/VetsDay, VETSDAY, or www.arlingtoncemetery.org. That is Arlington, ARLingtonCemetery.org. The end. Good morning, Fremont Falcons. We have a special guest with us today. This is Mr. Jason Crabtree. He is our custodian here on campus, our head custodian on campus, and he happens to be a veteran. So today I wanted to ask him a few questions about what it is like serving in the military and also what it feels like to him. What does Veterans Day mean to him? So first of all, um, Mr. Jason, can you please tell us what branch of the military did you serve in?
I was in the U.S. Army.
You were in the Army. And do you recall around what year that was that you were in the Army?
Um, I started basic training in 1988.
1988. And most folks, when they enlist in any form of the military, they have to go to what we call boot camp. Can you explain to our students what boot camp is?
Um, Boot camp is where you go to strip away your childness, and you learn difficulties, and you grow inner to become stronger inside as a person, mentally, physically, emotionally. They do a lot of things to help you do those things.
Did you happen to serve? Not, I shouldn't say serve. Was your boot camp local?
No, my boot camp was in Fort Benning, Georgia.
In Georgia. Have you ever been to Georgia before prior to going to boot camp?
I'd never been out of California besides Nevada.
Besides Nevada. So how was that experience being a California boy going all the way to Georgia to boot camp?
It was a bit of a culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
It was just different. I came from being raised here on the orchards and the cities, and went out there to Georgia where the air is different, the humidity level, the people are a little bit different. They're nice. They're very genuine. But as far as the boot camp, it was just a huge culture shock.
I can imagine. Now, going into the military in 1988, did you serve in any wars as a enlisted Army soldier?
I served in the aspect of during Desert Storm, Desert Shield, 1991. My unit, where I was stationed at, we transferred to Fort Hood, Texas, to train National Guard and reservist, so that we brought them up to speed, so to speak, so that they would go to Kuwait and do their duty. So it was my job as a trainer specialist to bring those guys up to speed, and girls too.
So we're also saying that you enlisted in 1988. When did you retire from the military?
I didn't retire. I completed my first term of service, which was a 4-year agreement that I made with the Army, and that I would do at least 4 years. And I completed that in 1992, July of 1992, and became a civilian again, and been a civilian again since.
So now when you hear words like Veterans Day, Armed Forces Day, Veterans Day, what does that mean to you?
It's a sense of pride. At first it wasn't when I first got out, because I was freshly out of the military, so I still had my military bearings, which made me feel as if I was still in, even though I was a civilian. But I still felt as if I was active duty because of my manners, my mannerisms, the way I acted, the way I went about my business was still very regimented and militarized, so to speak. You still retain some of who you are, a lot of who you really are. They just honed a lot of it. So it wasn't until I don't know, probably in 2000, when I really started to appreciate the veteran status, only because I never felt entitled to anything, because I had a lot of friends that went to Kuwait for Desert Shield and Desert Storm.
Mm-hmm.
So I just always didn't feel right because of those guys were the veterans as far as I was concerned.
Well, students, every morning when you walk on campus and you see that our flag has been raised on our flagpole, know that our veteran here, our head custodian, is the one who has placed that there for you. So once you arrive on campus, I know most of our older students, you will be here on the 30th. Why don't you make sure that you have an opportunity to go around and thank him for his service, for his duty. And every time you see a flag raised, you will then know and understand the importance of Veterans Day and why we have it as a holiday. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And there we have it, everyone. Now you probably have an idea as to why I have on these colors and why my headband happens to be Army fatigues. I hope that you learned something new today. I hope that you came away from this experience learning and appreciating they definitely deserve our respect. I hope that you have a new love for our flag and understand the importance of service. Next time that you see a veteran, you may want to go up and shake their hand and tell them thank you. Also, if you are looking behind me in the parade, you will see many, many flags there. Of course, we only talked about one branch, Mr. Crabtree, who told us that he enlisted in the Army. But of course, there are many other branches. The Navy, we have the Coast Guard, we have the Marines, we even have the Navy SEALs. So there are many ways to serve and protect the United States of America. So once again, when you are celebrating a holiday such as Veterans Day, Memorial Day, or as we come towards the summer, the 4th of July, remember all of our veterans and the people who are still serving and appreciate them for the work and service that they do for our country. Thank you for watching and hope that you have a great afternoon and night. Goodbye, everyone.